Hey you guys, it's been so long since I saw you. I'm not even sure why I stopped, but I just got busy with other things and I went traveling and kind of got out of the habit until people started saying, how come we haven't seen any more? My aunt calls them, she calls them podcasts. So, I haven't grown up to be a podcaster yet, but maybe one day I'll get there. Anyway, I thought we would go back to our Chez Panisse series. And because I needed something to really excite me, I decided to jump straight to somebody in the Chez Panisse line that I adore. So here in my culinary library, I have one shelf, and it's a very small shelf. There's 6 books on it. We'll get to those books at some point, but there's only 6 books on it that are my must-have, will never do without baking books, specifically baking books. And this one is on that list. So without further ado, today we are doing Lindsey Shere. So Lindsey Shere, if you don't know her, was actually one of the co-founders of Chez Panisse. Alice Waters, of course, gets most of the spotlight, but Lindsey Shere was there from the very beginning in 1971. The fact that they've been open that long is crazy. Lindsey Shere worked there from 1971 until she retired in 1998. That's a really long stint. She is still alive and well in Northern California. She only wrote this one book. So this book was published in 1985. I have this, as I said, on my can't do without shelf. It really showcases the way she was raised. So she was raised on a farm with a lot of fresh dairy and fresh produce. So her food is really beautiful and simple to the point where it focuses directly on the flavor of a berry or a cheese or a cream of some sort or the butter. She doesn't overcomplicate things, and I love that. This book, again, was published in 1985. Here's a little sad note, a little sad side note, that Lindsey Shere apparently, according to the New York Times, was working on another cookbook for all of us out there. But I gotta look at my notes here, in 1989. So this was published in 1985. Now, when you're working in a professional kitchen and you're somebody like Lindsey Shere, you're taking notes constantly. You're constantly developing new restaurant recipes. And she was doing that in the hopes of putting out yet a second cookbook. So this one came out in 1985, and then in 1989, some unknown person broke into her home and stole her, essentially, satchel purse, not knowing that there was anything more valuable in that satchel than her credit cards and possibly cash. But she took what would have been a second book. That breaks my heart, just to think that those recipes that she worked so hard on that would have given so much to the world probably ended up in a trash can somewhere. And she never tried to redo, she never tried to go back and recreate those things, which I know very well from being working on my recipes for so long. It's too heartbreaking, and you can't go back like that. So I have this one book, and I highly recommend it. It has her signature recipe in it, which is kind of funny. Some people call it her famous recipe. Some people call it her infamous recipe. So that's kind of interesting. But it is an almond tart, and of course I have made it, and it is iconic for sure. It's super simple. And another recipe I've made in here several times is a marble cake, which marble cakes are so old-fashioned, but I had a girlfriend who's now in her late 70s who grew up having a marble cake for her birthday every year. And when her mother passed, she related that story to me. Like, I missed that. And so I started making it for her birthday on occasion. So those are the 2 main actual recipes I've made out of this book, but I keep it as a constant reference for me. Like, what would Lindsey do? What does she say? What flavors appeal to her? So that's who we have today, Lindsey Shere. right now, you can only get this book in paperback, unless of course you want to try and find the original copy, which is what I've got here. But there's no difference between this and the reprinted soft back. Okay, I hope it doesn't take me months to get back to you guys again. So sorry. But yeah, we'll keep going on this. Okay, thanks. Bye.